January 6th on Capitol Hill, how things were different today than 4 years ago.
And how a multi-million-dollar study at the UW will look at the impact of vaping on the lungs and the heart. And it's a cold but snowless start to 2025. How that is impacting the bottom line for some area businesses. You're watching News 3 Now at 5. Thanks for staying with us, everybody, at 5. Welcome back, Eric.
Welcome to you as well.
Good to be back together.
Been a long time since we've been together out here.
Yep. You look like you got a little
bit of sun in Florida.
Face.
Nobody's getting any sun around here.
No.
Let's go to Alex Harrington with a chilly start to the year, but no snow, Alex.
Yeah, no snow to be seen in our forecast. Unfortunately, if you really want it, I don't have really good news. Check out our Channel 3000 Facebook. I want to know how it impacts you. Or we just posted about that. We want to hear your stories too. And speaking of the sun, Eric and Susan, normally I have that sunny disposition. Well, I guess I do. And finally, the skies cleared out here at the end of the day today, but much of the day was cloudy out there. It's all part of the three things you need to know here. Temperatures and dry weather. The only snow chances I got for you are Friday and on Sunday. In our 6 o'clock newscast, I'll break that Friday snow down a little bit more. Temperatures at this time yesterday, we were in the teens. We made it into the lower 20s. So a little incremental change today, meaning just a little bit warmer out there. We still got 20 right now in our Janesville Nissan sponsored sky cam here looking at the Capitol. Quite pretty. There you see the skies have cleared out finally. Wind chill is 20 because the winds are light. So I guess there's another plus. 20 Madison, 21 in Cross Plains, 24 that warm spot over towards Deerfield and south towards Edgerton. Widening things out here across the rest of southern Wisconsin. We got a 19 in Vernon County and a 25. That is the warm spot that I can see right now in southern Wisconsin. That's basking right now in Janesville. Planning your evening will slip down into the 20-degree range by the time you join us in a little bit for the 6 o'clock newscast. And then at 10 o'clock, we'll be down to 16. Coming up in Maine weather, we're going to track all our temperatures this week. We got some ups and downs to talk about. And then I'll speak a little bit more to that next snow chance in a little bit.
All right, Alex, thank you. Congress certified President-elect Donald Trump's election win this afternoon without incident.
The proceedings were a far cry from what happened 4 years ago today when Trump supporters breached the Capitol in an effort to stop lawmakers from certifying Joe Biden's victory. Natalie Brand reports from Capitol Hill.
Congress formally certified Donald Trump's 2024 presidential victory Monday.
This announcement of the state of the vote by the President of the Senate shall be deemed a sufficient declaration of the persons elected President and Vice President of the United States.
The candidate he defeated, Vice President Kamala Harris, presided over the count. A process steeped in tradition as the electoral ballot boxes made their way through the Capitol to the House floor.
Today, America's democracy stood.
The peaceful proceedings with no objection stand in stark contrast to what happened here 4 years ago when a mob of Trump supporters stormed the Capitol to try and stop the certification of Joe Biden's 2020 presidential win.
We cannot let anyone whitewash what happened here 4 years ago.
Nearly 1,600 people have been charged for their roles in the January 6th Capitol attack. Of those, 1,000 have pleaded guilty and 600 were charged with assaulting or resisting police. President-elect Donald Trump has promised to pardon January 6th defendants.
Democrats say that would be a dangerous endorsement of political violence. Republican lawmakers, meanwhile, are promising to advance President-elect Trump's priorities as quickly as possible.
We will be focused on getting President Trump's cabinet up and running quickly by ensuring that his nominees are speedily confirmed.
New CBS News polling shows 4 years later, the January 6th Capitol attack continues to be met with disapproval from a large and bipartisan majority of Americans, though Republicans' disapproval has softened. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
And in a social media post, former Vice President Mike Pence, who of course presided over the 2020 certification, wrote that he, quote, welcomes the return of order and civility to these historic proceedings, adding that it's admirable that Vice President Harris would preside over the certification of an election that she lost.
Here in Wisconsin, Congressman Mark Pocan says the sights and sounds of January 6th will never leave him. In a statement, Pocan says January 6th was one of the darkest days in our nation's history and will forever be a stain on our nation's long-held tradition of a peaceful transfer of power. Pocan added that despite wishing the 2024 election turned out differently, he voted to certify the Electoral College.
Wisconsin Supreme Court candidate Brad Schimmel says January 6th defendants never got a fair shot in court and believes Democrats have abused the court system for political gain. On Vicki McKenna's iHeartRadio podcast, Schimmel laid out his issues with how the prosecution of January 6th defendants was handled.
The same thing for these January 6th defendants who were all prosecuted in the Washington, D.C. district, which is overwhelmingly liberal. This part of the manipulation is to go to districts like that. They would never take their prosecution in a district where you had a fair shot as a defendant.
President-elect Donald Trump has called for the pardoning of January 6th defendants.
Of the nearly 1,200 people who have been arrested, 11 were from Wisconsin. Most of the 11 charged in Wisconsin have been convicted and sentenced, with charges ranging from misdemeanor unlawful entry to felony assault. Sentences ranged from community service and fines from $500 to $2,500 up to 37 months in jail and 2 years probation. The charges against one defendant have been dropped and 3 are awaiting trial. As for the so-called fake electors from Wisconsin, 3 defendants are facing 11 charges of forgery each. The next court date for all 3 is set for January 28th.
Governor Tony Evers making plans to allow Wisconsin voters to directly vote on new laws and constitutional amendments in the ballot box. This proposal mirrors nearly 20 other states that would allow Wisconsinites to submit petitions to the Wisconsin Elections Commission and with enough signatures, place a referendum question on the ballot. Governor Evers is expected to place that measure in the upcoming budget address to the legislature in February. However, Governor Evers placed a similar issue in his budget back in 2022, which was rejected by Republicans. Wisconsin State Senate Majority Leader Devin LeMahieu plans to reject the issue in a post on X, stating, quote, the budget should be a budget, not a policy document. Instead of proposing a laundry list of policy items, Governor Evers should be focusing his effort on using the state surplus to address rising costs.
Police are still searching tonight for a New Lisbon man accused of killing 3 people there last week. New Lisbon police say the last known vehicle used by the suspect has been recovered by law enforcement. The picture on your screen is the latest picture taken of Virgil Thu, who is the suspect in this case. Thu is considered armed and dangerous. If you see him, do not confront him and dial 911. A GoFundMe has been set up for the 13-year-old victim. You can find the link under this story on channel3000.com.
A man in custody for an OWI after falling through the ice on an all-terrain vehicle in the town of Eustisford. It's just northeast of Watertown. Dodge County Sheriff's Office says a Polaris UTV was driving on Siddisippi Lake when it went through the ice. The Eustisford Fire Department was able to pull the 2 people from the UTV from the water and back to shore. A 46-year-old man was arrested for first offense operating a UTV or ATV while intoxicated. No injuries were reported.
UW-Madison is looking for participants to join a study that will test how vaping affects the heart and lungs.
And it comes after the UW got a $5.7 million grant for the research. Our Merrill Hubbard tells us why this study stands out.
We're the first study throughout the world that's actually doing it with this rigor.
Dr. James Stein, director of UW Health Preventive Cardiology Program, says that 13.2 million Americans reported vaping nicotine in the past month, and that the prevalence of vaping is the highest among young adults who are 18 to 25 years old.
But here's what's really shocking. Although e-cigarettes have been on the market for over 15 years, we really don't understand their long-term health effects.
Previous research tells us the physical effects of vaping, but this study will zoom in on people who vape for multiple years.
What's really special about this study is that it's the largest study to date with the most comprehensive testing of the heart, the blood vessels and the lungs over a long period of time.
Researchers are looking for more than 350 adults 21 and up who vape regularly to participate in this 3-year-long study. Doctors and nurses will regularly check in with these participants, monitoring their lung, heart, and blood vessel health.
My habits are pretty hardwired right now. It's been many years since I've been smoking and vaping. I know it's not good for me.
Alex Shea Johnson has participated in UW's vaping studies before, and he plans to join this one too.
If I'm not a doctor, at least I can be the study person. You know, if I can't do the study, I can be the study at least.
Participants will get up to $625 and individualized test results for completing the study.
You're part of something. So it's just a good experience.
Researchers also need around 200 non-smokers for the control variable of the study.
Our goal, of course, is to have a smoke-free, tobacco-free, nicotine-free world, but that's a bit of a dream, and we want to help people get to that in as healthy a way as possible.
If you want to join in on the study, you can enroll on myvapecheck.com. Reporting on Madison's West Side, Meryl Hubbard, News 3 Now.
Meryl, thank you. A new urgent care and family practice clinic is coming to Mount Horeb. Upland Hills Health says the Mount Horeb Family Practice and Urgent Care is holding a ribbon cutting Thursday at 4, and the clinic will start seeing patients next Monday. The new location of the clinic is 1809 Springdale Street in Mount Horeb, just across the street from Miller & Sons Supermarket. It's about 20 minutes from Madison.
And Madison is one of the top 25 fastest growing cities in the country, according to a recent U-Haul study. Madison sits at number 22 for highest growth last year, with number 1 being Ocala, Florida on that list. Wisconsin as a whole has moved up 4 spots, also to the 22nd spot of all 50 states for growth. Number 1 on that list is South Carolina, but Florida hosts 7 cities on the top of that list, followed by Texas with 5.
Well, just after the break, Alex will give us the full look at the forecast, and we'll find out why temperatures are going to be so low for the foreseeable future.
And the annual Bald Eagle Watching Days returning to Sauk City when it starts, in the festivities that you can enjoy. And on Wall Street today, the Dow gives up gains late in the day to finish down 25.5. The Nasdaq jumps 243 points. S&P adds 33. We'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Attention avid bird watchers, Alex Harrington, mark your calendar for next weekend for a chance to see one of the winter wonders of nature. The annual Bald Eagle Watching Days in Sauk City begin January 18th. This year, eagle watchers can view the eagles soar above the Wisconsin River from a newly renovated overlook on Water Street in Prairie du Sac. Visitors can also watch live raptor shows in the River Arts Center of Sauk Prairie High School. Well, what was a dry and snowless end to 2024 continues into the new year, and for some, that is not good news.
Our Jalen Banks joins us now from Madison's west side on how this lack of snow is impacting some local businesses. Jalen.
Eric and Susan, it's January in Wisconsin, and unlike most years, there's no snow. For some, that may be some pretty good news, but if you're a landscaping or snow removal company, maybe not so much, because if there's no snow, then where's the work?
So I haven't really seen too many years like this.
That is the experience of Action Jackson of Jackson's Lawn Care is going through as a prolonged dry winter for Wisconsinites continues.
The last 2 years been quite rough. We haven't seen anything like this since I've been in business. I've been in business 16 years.
And according to our First One weather team, the trend of no snow may continue with our 7-day snow chances remaining low. And for the month of January so far, we've had just a trace of snow, which sits well below the monthly average, which does not bode well for Jackson.
By us not getting no snow, it really goes against what we prep and prepare for. And it's really hard to keep employment guys on board to fulfill those roles when it does snow, because if we're only getting 1 or 2 snows in a season or in a month, that really hurts the foundation of what we built.
And Jackson says he feels not only for his business, but others as well.
When you prepare and then you get months like this, it's really heartbroken, not only for me, but for other plow companies as well.
Definitely a tough year. Hopefully they can get some snow soon. But with that, our First One weather team will have that in just a sec. But for now, reporting on Madison's west side, Jalen Banks, News 3 Now.
All right, Jalen, thank you. Full look now with Alex. And is there any snow in that forecast?
Oh, I wish I could bring a graphic up here that had some sense of optimism. I want to reinforce Jalen's graphic that we were showing Jalen earlier today. Unfortunately, the 7-day snow chance, we might get some snow showers on Friday. We might get some snow showers next Sunday. At 6, I'm going to break down what that weather system on Friday may look like. But right now, it's not looking like a lot of snow. But we still have February, we still have March to go, and we still have quite a bit of January to go as well. Well, let's talk about some bright stuff here. Our live First One weather cam in Platteville. Clouds finally cleared out today across all of southern Wisconsin, unless you were the far southeast part of the state. Same in Dodgeville, same here in Madison. We're at 20 right now. Wind chill is 20. I keep calling that out because the winds have died down, so the actual temperature and the wind chill are the same right now, at least, but that's going to change in a little bit here. 20 in Madison, 20 in Middleton, 20 in Waunakee, and how about 21 down in 14 in Oregon. We got 19 to the west in Viroqua, 21 in the Dells, and there's that warm spot. I was just talking to WCLO, and they said, we're at 25, and I said, well, we're at 20, so they're the warm spot right now in southern Wisconsin. Planning our evening tonight, 20 at 6. You're going to join us in a few minutes. At 10 o'clock, when you join us again, we'll be down to 16. That's normal for this time of year. Future track temperatures, let's go through the next 24, 36 hours. Tomorrow morning, we'll wake up at 13, normal for this time of year in Madison. Single digits to the low teens. And as we carry forth towards the lunch hour, we'll get up into the 20s. We'll end up about 24, and that's pretty close to normal for this time of year. So I want to emphasize, even though it's cold, this is normal cold for January. Then as we start off Wednesday morning, there our temperatures slowly work our way down. We'll be in the single digits to right around 10. So just a touch colder Wednesday morning across the area. But how about the wind chills? Tomorrow morning, we'll have wind chills single digits above 0. We'll get up into the teens, not too bad. We're going to get a little bit colder, though, as we go into Wednesday morning. Temperatures will be colder. You add a little bit of wind. Those wind chill values as you're heading to work and school going into Wednesday morning could dip down below 0. So need to bundle up. where do we see our temperatures in the grand scheme of things related to normal? 28 is normal, way out at 10 days, 27 is normal. Our temperatures flirting with normal, if not below normal, but we're not seeing any of those 45, 50-degree days anytime soon, at least not for the next 10 days out there. Chance of snow, 30% Friday. Chance of snow on Sunday, 30% again. Join us at 6. We'll look at that Friday weather system in a little bit more detail. And then Eric and Susan were saying that this cold is going to last around for a while. Our chances here in Madison, a decent chance, at least 50-50, if not a little bit greater than 50-50 chance as we go out to January 20th. Much of the country is going to be experiencing colder than normal temperatures. So the cold mode is going to stay here for southern Wisconsin, and unfortunately the dry mode as well. Lastly here, well, at least it's pretty out there. Thanks, Gary, sending us this photo. Scan the QR code, and I'd love to show your photo on air. Throw a little optimism in the forecast.
I love that. Alex, thank you. New York has started congestion pricing for its central business district. The shocking costs to take the new toll route and how residents in the Big Apple are reacting. We'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Welcome back. Today, the city of New York has implemented its Central Business District tolling program, otherwise known as congestion pricing.
The city hopes it will reduce traffic, encourage public transportation, and fund alternative transportation methods. Christina Fan reports from New Jersey.
From the Holland to the Lincoln to the GWB, congestion pricing appeared to have its desired effect Monday morning as traffic flowed quickly. But even the most painless commute couldn't wipe the pained look from drivers' faces.
There is some possibility of hope as far as traffic and congestion, but still, I mean, the fees are too high every day.
That's crazy. It's ridiculous, you know. But what can we do? We have no choice.
New Jersey drivers were hit by a double whammy Monday morning. On top of congestion pricing, the Port Authority coincidentally chose the same weekend to hike the price of its bridges and tunnels by 3%. That means a peak hour trip into the city will now cost $22.06. That's $6.68 more than before.
It's going to steer people away from going to New York. It's just ridiculous. It doesn't make sense.
New Jersey lawmakers tried until the very last minute to derail the plan, but had no success, leaving New Jersey commuters crunching the numbers, figuring out if they should switch from driving to taking the train.
Once they start paying it and they get that first credit card bill, an Easy Pass bill, then they're gonna more people be on the train.
Just getting into the city, it's insane. Both are expensive at this point.
Others, like rideshare drivers and small business owners, say they have no alternative.
Especially if you own a business, very tough. All the prices are going to go up for everything. It's going to make things a lot harder.
We'll be right back. Final check of your first warn forecast.
Coming up tonight on the CBS Evening News, Arctic blast blankets the mid-Atlantic as several states declare a state of emergency. What we know about the storm putting tens of millions under weather alerts and what it means for your flights and power. That and more headlines tonight on the CBS Evening News.
And finally at 5 pieces of Madison's snow plowing fleet. They need names, and the city is once again asking for your help. You can email name suggestions starting tomorrow to drop off at cityofmadison.com. The deadline is the 24th of this month, and then voting will open February 3rd through the 17th.
Yeah, some names already being suggested ahead of time are Plowder Puff Girl, Salcha Rhodes,
I like that.
Plowed Away, and of course, Plowy McPlowface. Got to have that one in any list of possible names. Well, there's still plenty of time, as you can see, to submit your ideas as those trucks sit idly where there's no snow on the ground. And Alex rejoins us and nothing in the forecast.
Nothing in the forecast, but once we get them named, we'll get the snow. How about that?
That's probably how it'll happen. You're right.
Hopefully that's how that happens. Let's talk about temperatures, though, too, because that's really a big part of our weather story. Staying below normal for the next 10 days overall. No big warm-ups, but the bitter cold, that really cold stuff that we saw periodically, at least twice already this year, at least that's staying at bay in our forecast. So that's something, a plus. So temperatures in the 20s by day, single digits to teens by night. We do have 2 small snow chances Friday, and then again on Sunday at 6 o'clock. I'll break down what that Friday weather system might look like and some of the varied tracks that we might have with that weather system. So all in all, feeling like January, just not looking quite like January yet. But that can change. We've got plenty more of winter to go.
Couldn't bring that warm weather from Florida, huh?
No.
Couldn't bring it back with you.
I wish I could, but here we are, folks. We'll be back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. Stay tuned now for the CBS Evening News.